It's going, dude.
Just watch it.
Yeah, man. Welcome.
Just watch it.
It has begun. You're entering, and you cannot exit.
Good evening. You've reached the point of no return.
Welcome. We're here.
I bet you're wondering how you got yourself here, and we are too. But this
We got
is
some good stuff.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us.
We know what you're thinking. Where are the Russian fairy tales? They're coming. They're coming. Just chill out.
You're not ready yet. You will be. Very soon. Very, very soon.
I think, yeah. Conrad's gonna read this poem.
Okay, if I sound like
Oh yeah, you
might
just
be a little fucked
bit your
up.
lip. You've gotten a fight with the fridge door, and it kind of messed your lip up.
If I sound a little fucked up right now, it's because I walked into a fridge door and split my lip. And
Split.
I split it, and
Lips.
it was bleeding. It's not anymore, but it might be fat. There's
Right.
also people lighting off leftover fireworks from 4th of July
Right.
outside, so
That's
not ideal.
cricket.
Which one am I doing? Okay, cool.
It's Keats. We're back in the Keats.
This is a
John.
poem from Keats called On the Grasshopper and Cricket. The poetry of earth is never dead. When all the birds are faint with the hot sun and hide in cooling trees, a voice will run from hedge to hedge about the new mown mead. That is the grasshoppers. He takes the lead in summer luxury he has never done with his delights, for when tried out with fun, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. The poetry of earth is ceasing never.
Shit.
On a lone winter evening, when the frost has wrought a silence, from the stove there shrills the cricket's song, in warmth increasing over, and seems to one in drowsiness half lost, the grasshoppers among some grassy hills. Let's do the first one. Let's do the first stanza again. The poetry of earth is never dead.
Let me go. You're gonna go?
No, you try it again.
Okay.
I feel like I didn't.
That was a
hit
good
it.
warm up. No,
didn't
I didn't
hit it.
know. I didn't read it. I just was like, this one seems like it's got some words that we could read. Because some of them, it's like, I think that's supposed to rhyme or something. This is supposed to rhyme. It's done and fun. Yeah.
Does all of it? But
lead.
like, some of it doesn't.
Lead takes the lead. Never dead. I'm gonna read it. Lead.
I didn't pick it up.
I don't know. Yeah.
Again.
The poetry of earth is never dead. Colon. When all birds are faint with the hot sun and hide in the cooling trees, a voice will run from hedge to hedge about the new mown like meadow.
Fuck.
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
probably.
gonna be key to the rhyme. That is the grasshoppers. He takes the lead. In summer luxury
The lead?
he has never done. It's got a rhyme, bro.
The
I don't
lead?
know if it has to.
Mead and lead?
No, but it's dead, man. It's rhyming with dead.
Dead. Fuck.
And it's like meadow. New mown med.
Okay.
Like a meadow. In summer luxury he has never done with his delights, for when he is tired out with fun, he rests at ease beneath some pleasant weed. The poetry of earth is ceasing never.
So you can see.
So never rhymes with ever, which is a couple lines later. On a lone winter evening when the frost has wrought a silence from the stove, there shrills the cricket's song in warmth increasing ever, and seems to one in drowsiness half lost, the grasshoppers among grassy hills. No, yeah, I don't know.
You
That one was
you
weird.
understand poetry a lot better.
I don't know if I did. I was just kind of vibing.
No, dude. You're being
I don't
humble.
know, man. So yeah, there's the poetry of. We got 2 colons. Those are probably important. So the poetry of earth is never dead, and then the poetry of earth is never ceasing.
Ceasing never.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, and then the grasshopper and cricket were capitalized. I don't know.
A B B B B B A B A F.
Right.
A.
It's probably a sonnet or some shit. I don't know. Who knows? Oh wait, you should read this one. It's called "Written in Disgust of Vulgar Superstition." It starts on it's the one above it.
Is this
So it's that, and then you go. No. It just goes to that.
Okay.
It's just a funnier name.
Written in disgust. Written in disgust of vulgar superstition. By Keats.
John
Keats.
J.K.
The church bells toll a melancholy round, calling people to some other prayers, some other gloominess, more dreadful cares, more hearkening to the sermon's horrid sound. Surely the mind of man is closely bound. Surely the mind of man is closely bound in some black spell, seeing that each one tears himself from fireside joys and Lydian airs, and converse high of those with glory crowned. This is very. It wants you to trip up. Still they toll, and I should feel a damp, a chill as from a tomb. I did not know. That they are dying like an outburnt lamp. That 'tis their sighing, wailing ere they go into oblivion, that fresh flowers will grow, and many glories of immortal stamp.
Whoa.
Okay.
He's pretty critical.
Maybe you read it.
No, I don't know.
And we can recite. We can more better understand.
Let me look at it. Some other gloominess, more dreadful cares, more hearkening to the sermon's horrid sound. Surely the mind of a man is closely bound in some black spell, seeing that each one tears himself from fireside joys and Lydian airs, and converse high of those with glory crowned. Still they toll, and I should feel a damp, a chill as from a tomb. Did I not know that they are dying like an outburnt lamp? That 'tis their sighing, wailing ere they go into oblivion, that fresh flowers will grow, and many glories of immortal stamp. Yeah, I don't know. That seems like the last part is sort of.
I feel like I don't know how to read poetry.
I don't know. It's hard. It's kind of just being like, oh, I think there's going to be a sentence.
And then you have to, like, the meter of it is
Yeah.
confusing to me.
Yeah, I don't know what this one's going for. You know what I mean? I was just kind of being
Should there
like,
be a guy with a trumpet
yeah.
at all? What instrument? Am I stomping my boots when I read these?
No, he's like a little boy.
I know, but I
He
need
dies.
to we should dive deep. I'm saying for future episodes. Listeners, chime in if you want more poetry.
Chime in.
That's all I'm saying. Maybe we can unpack poetry.
This one might be more on your level.
Get over my fear.
We got Reflections on the Art of Living, a Joseph Campbell companion.
Okay.
It's just
Is it a companion to another book?
It's just like, are you into Joseph Campbell? You should read this. It's kind of just little parts of it and
Okay.
different stuff. So he writes a bunch of books about like comparative mythology and like Jungian archetypes and shit like that. He's really into Jung. But
So is it
I got
like
a couple of these
philosophy
marked.
of building a log cabin and stuff like that?
This one's good. Yeah.
The Zen Art of Motorcycle Crashing?
Yeah.
What is that book?
Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Repair. That guy for sure likes Joseph Campbell. That guy is for sure read Joseph Campbell.
Yeah, so I got the vibe immediately. No big deal.
Yeah. Okay. This one. What section are we in here? This is There's different little sections. This is coming into awareness. This section's called Coming into Awareness.
Coming into awareness.
Yeah. And this is I don't know. It doesn't say where they're from. They're just little 2-page things.
Right on.
But it's by Joseph Campbell. When we talk about scientific truth, just as when we talk about God, we are in trouble because truth has different meanings. William James said, and it's valid, truth is what works. The idea of truth with a capital T, that there is something called truth that's beyond the range of the relativity of the human mind trying to think, is what I call the error of the found truth. The trouble with all these damned preachers is the error of the found truth. When they get that tremolo in their voice and tell you that what God has said, you know you've got a faker. When people think that they or their guru have the truth, this is it. They are what Nietzsche calls epileptics of the concept. Epileptics of the concept. People who have gotten an idea that's driven them crazy.
Epileptic?
Epileptics. Epileptic.
Doesn't that mean like
Have a seizure. Epilepsy.
Yeah, no, but there's another
Apoplectic. You're thinking of apoplectic.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not like that.
It's not apoplectic.
Nah, it's just they're crazy. It explains exactly what it means after, which is people who have gotten an idea that's driven them crazy.
But I thought that was what apoplectic. Never mind.
Doesn't matter.
Who cares?
It's Nietzsche. It's a quote of Nietzsche. So if you don't like this, take it up with Friedrich Nietzsche. Thinking you've got the truth is a form of madness, as are pronouncements about absolute beauty, because one can easily see that there is no such thing. Beauty is always relevant to something. That quote from Keats's Ode on a Grecian Urn, beauty is truth, truth is beauty.
We were just reading Keats.
Yeah. That is all ye know on earth and all ye need to know. It is a nice poetic thought, but what does it mean? Speaking of platitudes, I like Robert Bly's extrapolation of Descartes. I think, therefore I am. The stone doesn't think, therefore it isn't. Ideals are dangerous. Don't take them seriously. You can get by on a few. It's like that was written like a poem, that part.
Pretty good.
A human being in action cannot represent perfection. You always represent one side of a duality that is itself perfection. The moment you take action, you are imperfect. You have decided to act that way instead of the other way. That's why people who think they are perfect are so ridiculous. They're in a bad position with respect to themselves. It is a basic thought in India, it also turns up in China, that life itself is a sin, in this sense of its being imperfect. To live, you're killing and eating something, aren't you? You can reduce what you eat to fallen leaves if you want, but you're still eating life. You are taking the common good, you might say, and focusing it in your direction. And that is a decision on one side rather than on the other. So decide to be imperfect. Reconcile yourself to that and go ahead. That's joyful participation in the sorrows of the world. The idea in India that after many incarnations you achieve perfection and don't get reincarnated. You quit, you're out. Hence, all Buddhas are depicted more or less alike because they are all perfect and don't reincarnate. As long as you're reincarnating, you are imperfect. So you have to be loyal to your imperfection. Find out what it is, then continue on your track. By being loyal to your part of the duality, you are keeping the mystery of history informed. Do not give up your vices. Make your vices work for you. If you are a proud person, don't get rid of your pride. Apply it to your spiritual quest.
Damn. If you are a fat person,
Yeah.
do not lose weight.
Apply that.
Apply it.
Apply that to your wrestling career.
If you are a tiny guy,
Yeah.
do not get surgery. Don't get bone implants in your legs.
But yeah.
Apply that.
Yeah.
Apply that to being a bank robber.
But yeah. Pretty interesting.
That's
yeah, I
pretty
got
good.
more of those.
I like that
Those
shit.
are fun to read.
I was trying to find a note. I was trying to silently grab my notebook out of that
nice.
thing so I could write down things from
Nice.
that. But the Buddhas
Yeah.
are funny
Yeah.
because they're not real guys.
Yeah, they're all alike.
There was one fat Buddha, and
They're all fat. Yeah.
they don't do anything
I guess.
because they're perfect.
I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about.
What's it? He was saying doing nothing was perfect.
Kind of. I mean, that's sort of the thing.
You are
That's sort of a thing he's kind of said. Yeah.
You are imperfect when you take action.
Yeah. But so you have to get, more into your imperfection.
You use your imperfections.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what we're doing.
So we got the Russian fairy tale book out.
We're doing the Russian fairy tales by
by all
a ton of Russian guys.
Alexander Osifenev.
A lot of Russian guys.
Afanasyev. I mean, there's one guy who wrote them all down.
Oh, nice. I thought it was a compilation.
It kind of is, but he did it 200 years ago, so it's like he did it. You know, like the Grimm fairy tales and stuff like that. Hans Christian Andersen.
Shout out that guy.
But yeah, we
These
got some
ones
good
were
ones.
great.
This one's called The Magic Shirt. Do you want to read The Magic Shirt?
The magic shirt, sure.
Magic Shirt.
Here we go. Brave soldier. While serving in his regiment, a brave soldier.
You're too poetic. You're in the poetic.
I'm in the poet zone, and this letter is huge. It was so big that I did not register it as a letter.
Oh, they had the big letter, yeah.
Please excuse
the
me.
big letter.
Excuse me, I'm in my own home and I'm too relaxed. A brave soldier, while serving in his regiment, received 100 rubles from home. The sergeant got wind of it and borrowed this money from him.
Shit.
When the time came to settle the debt...
The sergeant's in charge? Is he the head guy?
The sergeant. He's the sergeant. He got wind of it.
Okay, and he's his boss.
Yeah.
When they say the military ranks, I'm always need to,
He's like, oh, you got 100... Well,
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
a soldier.
right, just a regular, non-sergeant soldier.
His rank is brave soldier.
Right. An ensign.
He's probably an ensign. The sergeant borrowed it from him. When the time came to settle the debt, instead of paying it, he gave the soldier 100 blows on his back with a stick, saying, I never saw your money. You invented the whole thing.
Shit.
Sorry. The soldier became enraged and ran away into a deep forest. This is exactly how I would react.
Been there, brother.
That's why I like these stories.
I've been there.
He was about to lie down to rest under a tree when he saw a 6-headed dragon flying towards him. Oh, holy shit. The dragon stopped beside the soldiers, questioned him about his life, and said, why should you trudge through the woods like this?
I did not expect him to give him life advice.
Yeah, man.
I thought he would, fight him or something.
Yeah, you thought the Keats was fire. You weren't even ready.
I thought the dragon would breathe fire.
Why would you trudge through the woods like this? Instead, come and serve me for 3 years. With pleasure, said the soldier.
Yeah.
Sit on me, then. That's what he said. That's not an ad lib.
They always want him to sit on him.
Sit on me.
Sit on me.
So many. Yeah, that is a.
That's
true,
happened 6 times.
It's a motif in these Russian stories is sitting on things.
Sitting on something you're talking to.
Meeting a thing.
You're talking to a thing and it says sit on me.
Meeting a big thing and it tells you to sit on it. Yeah. Come on. Nobody is being told to sit on it, though.
Right.
People are only being told to sit on me.
Me.
Never,
sit on me.
Sit on it.
Well, they don't have a saddle. Maybe if they had a saddle, they would say that.
Sit on me, said the dragon. The soldier began to load all his belongings on the dragon. Hey, veteran, why are you taking all this trash with you? How can you ask? It's my trash. I like this trash. How can you ask that, dragon? A soldier gets flogged for losing even a button, and now you want me to drop all my belongings.
Bro.
The dragon brought the soldier to his palace.
Is the dragon Jesus?
Maybe.
Is this an Aslan?
Could be. The dragon.
Wait, so did he
soldier.
Wait, is the stuff on the dragon or not?
It just.
Okay.
He says, now you want me to drop all my belongings. The dragon brought the soldier to his palace.
Okay.
So.
We'll see.
I think he did. I think he gave up his worldly
Okay.
possessions.
Okay.
So, strike one. The dragon brought the soldier to the palace and charged him as follows. Sit by the kettle for 3 years. Keep the fire going and cook my kasha. What's kasha? We'll figure it out later.
How do you spell it?
Whoa. Kasha.
I bet it's a soup.
I just clicked this mechanical pencil and an entire fucking stick of lead fell out.
Oh, that's happened to me today.
That's an insane
It's a pseudo cereal buckwheat.
Okay. So he's cooking. The dragon eats kasha?
Yeah, I think it's like Kashi Goleen, pretty much. It looks. I'm looking at a picture. It's pretty much Kashi Goleen.
The dragon
He's
eats
like,
kasha.
hey man, I got my Greek yogurt and my and my oats.
Yeah, cook my granola.
Cook my gruel.
Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
Blueberry granola bowl.
Acai.
My acai bowl. Fuck. Where am I? God damn it. Cook my kasha.
Yeah.
The dragon himself went to travel in the world during all that time. The soldier's work was not hard. He put wood under the kettle, thank you, and sat beside it, drinking vodka and eating tasty snacks.
This is the perfect job.
Yeah, man.
If you're asking me.
This is a great job.
I'm looking for this. If any dragons are hiring.
And the dragon's vodka was not like ours, all watered down, but quite strong.
No.
Yeah, dude, dragon vodka,
And it's
the best shit in the
not
world.
like ours.
After 3 years, the dragon came flying home. Well, veteran, is the kasha ready? It must be, for all these 3 years my fire did not go out once. The dragon ate the whole kettleful in one meal, praised the soldier for his faithful service, and hired him for the next 3 years.
I didn't realize he would have to cook that one thing the whole time. I thought it would be sort of a daily thing, but it seems like he's like, all right, you cook this for 3 years, I'll come back.
I think he just cooks it all the time.
Oh, okay.
And he's eating it too, and there's just always kasha. There's
Right.
always fresh kasha.
But he ate the full pot.
Yeah, he had a full pot going.
Okay.
I think he just has to have it ready when he comes back.
Right.
Maybe it does take 3 years.
Kasha, it's the end of the 3 years now, and he's rehiring him after finally eating it and being like, it's good. It seems like. But
Is the kasha ready? It must be. For all these 3 years, my fire did not go out once. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess there was just always kasha.
yeah, he's like, is it ready? And then
Yeah.
he said, I've been cooking it for 3 years.
Yeah.
So.
Because I thought the soldier would have some kasha, but
He's been drinking vodka and tasty snacks.
Yeah, he was eating tasty snacks. He didn't. Why does he want kasha if he has so many tasty snacks?
Bunch of tasty snacks.
These years, okay, so he hires him for another 3 years.
He's back on.
These years passed too, and the dragon ate his kasha again, and left the soldier for still another 3 years. For 2 years, our soldier cooked the kasha, and toward the end of the third began to think, here I am living with the dragon for the 9th year, cooking his kasha all the time. And I don't even know what it tastes like. I must try it.
Oh, no.
So he never
Don't
ate
do
the
that.
kasha. I thought he was eating the kasha.
Don't do that.
He raised the
I
lid.
recommend you didn't do that.
Well, if he were you, he wouldn't be doing it, but
Right.
he's a different guy,
Well,
unfortunately.
it might be good.
He raised the lid and found his sergeant sitting in the kettle.
What?
What? Ah, my friend, thought the soldier. Now I'm going to give you a good time. I'll pay you back the blows you gave me.
Shit.
And he began to drag in wood and put it under the kettle, as much as he could, and made such a fire that he cooked not only the flesh, but even the bones of the sergeant to a pulp. The dragon returned, ate the kasha, and praised the soldier. Well, veteran, how did he get in there? How did he get in the cauldron?
I think it might be sort of illusion magic, but we'll see.
Well, veteran, the kasha was good before, but this time it was even better. Choose whatever you like as your reward.
Nice.
The soldier looked around and
Magic
chose
shirt.
for himself.
The name of the movie is The Magic Shirt.
He saw a mighty horse and a shirt of thick cloth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get the jacket.
Leave the horse, take the jacket. This shirt was not an ordinary shirt, but a magic one.
It better be, man.
He who put it on became a mighty champion.
Good.
Fuck yes.
I've been working here 10 years.
That's how I
Better
feel
get a
about.
fucking
That's how I feel about the shirt I'm wearing
right
now. The
Everyone
fire
should-
department.
Any shirt can be that.
Yeah, this shirt makes me a mighty champion.
Yeah.
The soldier then went to a king and helped him in a difficult war. Married his beautiful daughter.
Shit. It's moving so fast. It's
I
been
know.
10 years.
Yeah,
It's been
10 years and he
20
got a
years
shirt.
now.
Got the shirt, and now he's an awesome knight.
And he's married.
Married to a princess. But the princess disliked being married to a common soldier. So she intrigued with a
hate
neighboring
women.
prince. Dude, she...
What the hell?
What the fuck?
What did you...
You're gonna do that?
But I guess her dad got her into it.
After you got the shirt? But he's not a common soldier. He's got the
Right.
shirt that makes him a mighty champion.
Yeah, well, I think he's going to look in the kettle and see her in the kettle. But...
She intrigued with a neighboring prince. And in order to find out...
No.
In order to find out whence came the soldier's mighty strength, she coaxed and flattered him. Having discovered what she wanted, she seized the opportunity
Samson
when her
and
husband
Delilah.
was asleep. This is Samson. To remove his shirt and give it to the prince. Jesus was the dragon.
Maybe, yeah.
Or it was God.
Something, yeah.
Because it gave him the shirt.
Gave him the shirt, which is Samson's strength, yeah.
Oh my God. Having discovered
Cut
what she
his hair.
wanted, she seized the opportunity when her husband removed the shirt and give it to the prince. The prince put on the magic shirt,
It's non-transferable, bitch.
took a sword, and cut the soldier into little pieces.
Wait, we love the soldier, though.
So yeah, I think it transfers.
Was he attuned to it?
But I think it just auto-attunes. He cut them into little pieces, put them in a hempen bag.
Okay.
And
Not all's lost.
Yeah, dude, all respect.
It's in the hempen bag.
Hemp in the hempen bag, and said to the stable boys, "Take this bag, tie it to some battered jade, and drive her into the open field." The stable boys went to carry out this order, but meantime the soldier's mighty steed had turned himself to a battered jade, and put himself in the stable boy's path.
That was the dragon?
Magic horse. No.
Oh, the magic horse from earlier that the dragon had.
I think he took both of those things,
Oh, okay.
and the horse turned himself into a battered jade.
Dang. What's the name of the horse from Tangled? He's cool.
Felicity.
It's something like that.
I have no idea.
It's like Isosceles or some shit.
Yeah.
He's funny.
Democles.
Yeah. The horse in Tangled's funny. And really smart.
I'll be sure to check that out.
Check out Tangled. Watch
check
for the
that out.
horse.
I'll probably be watching Tangled.
Yeah, you're gonna watch Tangled.
Next year,
Luca.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Encanto.
Encanto. I love Encanto. I'll show them. Yeah, I'll show her Encanto. I'm talking about my neighbor, my elderly neighbor. I'm about to have an elderly neighbor soon. Oh, shit, where am I? They took him, tied the bag to him, and drove him into the open field. The mighty steed darted off faster than a bird and came to the dragon's castle, stopped there, and for 3 nights and 3 days neighed without ceasing.
Shit.
The dragon was sound asleep, but he was finally awakened.
Dragon!
By the horse's loud neighing and stamping.
Yeah, I'm always stamping.
I'm doing sound effects. I'm doing Foley now.
Yeah.
And he came out of his palace. He looked into the bag and groaned aloud. He took the pieces, put them together, washed them with the water of death, and the soldier's body was joined together.
Boom, we're back, baby.
Lazarus. He sprinkled it with the water of life, and the soldier came to. "Fie," he said. "I have slept a long time." "You would have slept," he said. Wait. Sorry, I'm tripped up. "You would have slept very long indeed without your good horse," answered the dragon, and taught the soldier the difficult science of assuming different shapes. Whoa.
Wait, you taught him transfiguration?
Yep. Yeah. The soldier turned into a dove,
Oh.
flew to the prince with whom his faithless wife now lived,
Yeah.
and sat on the sill of the kitchen window.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
The young cook saw him. "Ah," she said, "what a pretty little dove." She opened the window and let him into the kitchen. The dove struck the floor and became a goodly youth. "Do me a service, lovely maiden," he said, "and I will marry you." Oh. He's not like a youth, I guess.
He's transfigured into a youth, though.
"And I will marry you."
But he's gonna marry, this kitchen maiden? She's the kitchen maiden?
"What shall I do for you?" That's the kitchen maiden. Get from the prince his shirt of thick cloth. But he never takes it off, except when he bathes in the sea.
There you go.
The soldier found out at what time the prince bathed, went out on the road, and turned into a flower. Soon the prince and the princess came to the beach, followed by the cook carrying the clean linen. The prince noticed the flower and admired it, but the princess guessed at once what it was. That accursed soldier must have turned himself into this.
Yeah.
She picked the flower and began to crumple it and pluck the petals, but the flower turned into a little fly, and without being noticed, hid in the cook's bosom.
Yeah.
As soon as the prince undressed and went into the water, so the flower disappeared, and she wasn't concerned by that at all.
Yeah.
As soon as the prince undressed and went into the water, the fly flew out and turned into a bright falcon. The falcon snatched the shirt and carried it away, then turned into a goodly youth and put it on.
Yeah.
Then the soldier took a sword, put his treacherous wife and her lover to death, and married the lovely young cook.
Dang, I'm glad that they got together.
And
She was really nice.
yeah, that was
Yeah, that lady was mean. That
kind of
original lady was mean.
kind of the coolest story I've ever read.
So much stuff happened, man.
That was just the right speed for me. It just kind of kept
like,
stuff happening. Get
yeah.
the fuck out of there.
Now it's 3 years later.
Yeah, I liked that. 10 years passed in one paragraph, and he got a cool shirt. But he said he could pick his one reward, but he got the horse and the whatever. I'm not going to look into it too much. That story was great. Magic shirt, 10 out of 10.
Alright, this one's called The Robbers. Once there lived a priest and his wife. They had a daughter named Alyanushka. One day, the priest was called to a wedding. He made ready to go with his wife and left his daughter at home. Mother, I am afraid to stay alone, said Alyanushka to her mother. Invite your friends with you to sit with you, then you won't be alone, said her mother. The priest and his wife left, and Alyanushka gathered her friends together. Many came with their work. Some knitted, some made lace, some brought spinning. I thought she was a little kid, but I guess she's an adult person.
She's like a youth. She's a goodly youth.
I guess she's a goodly youth, but all these other goodly youths got to do their jobs, so they bring all their jobs over.
She doesn't have a job?
Yeah, I guess not. She's just the priest's daughter, so she's spoiled. One maiden inadvertently dropped a spindle. It rolled away and fell through a crack into the cellar. She went to the cellar to get her spindle and saw a robber sitting behind a tub and threatening her with one finger.
Oh, fuck. Fuck.
Mind you, he said, don't tell anyone I am here or you won't live much longer. She climbed out of the cellar, pale as ashes, told everything in a whisper to one friend. That friend told it to another, and this last to still another. All of them were frightened and began to make ready to go home.
Fuck.
Where are you going? Alyanushka asked them. Wait, it is still early. Some said they had to fetch water. Some that they wanted to bring cloth to a neighbor.
Yeah.
And all of them left.
Real vibe killer. getting a house
Alyanushka
robbed.
remained alone. Yeah, I gotta go take cloth to a neighbor.
Yeah.
I gotta get out of here, y'all.
You're getting robbed. Oh, she's getting robbed. That's so cringe.
You gotta leave.
I forgot I have
I think
no
it might
water.
be good if I am not here.
I forgot I'm about to have a baby right now.
Women.
I'm giving birth currently.
The robber realized that everything had become quiet, came out of the cellar, and said, "Good evening, lovely maiden, queen of cake bakers." "Good evening," said Alyanushka. The robber examined everything in the house and then went to look over the yard. And Alyanushka quickly closed the door and pulled out the light. The robber knocked at the door. "Let me in," he called, "or I will slay you." I won't let you in. If you wish to get in, climb through the window, she said, and armed herself with an axe. As soon as the robber put his head through the window, she swung her axe and cut off his head. Shit. Then she began to wonder. Soon other robbers would come, his companions. What should she do then? She took the severed head and tied it in a bag. Then she dragged the slain robber, cut him into pieces, and put the pieces in various bags and pots. Exactly what we would have done.
That's probably, yeah.
Yeah. If you've
I
seen
wanted the
Jinx,
corpse out of my house. I just didn't want a corpse in my apartment.
Dismembered it.
I didn't kill him.
I put the pieces into various bags and pots.
I thought you would leave me alone.
After some time, the other robbers came and asked, "Have you done it?" They thought that their companion was alive.
I have.
Answered Alyosha in the robber's voice.
Here are 2 bagfuls of money, and here is a crock of butter, and here is a ham.
And she handed to them through the window the bags and pots she had prepared. The robbers took them all and loaded them onto their cart. "Now let us go," they said.
Go ahead,
said Alyosha.
I want to see whether there is anything else left.
They went. Daybreak came. The priest and his wife returned from the wedding. She told them everything that had happened. "So I myself overcame the robbers," she said. Meanwhile, the robbers reached home, and when they opened the bags and pots, they gasped. "Oh, what a woman," they said. "Very well, then. We shall destroy her." They dressed themselves in fine garments and came to the priest to woo Alyosha. They had chosen a little fool for her groom and had dressed him up, too.
Chosen a little fool?
Yeah, they'd chosen a little fool for her groom.
Is this like a prank?
I think the fool, I don't know how traditional of a fool he is. I think he might just be kind of slow. But, he's part of the gag. "Father, they are not matchmakers. These are the same robbers who were here before." "Why do you lie?" said the priest. "Look how well dressed they are." He was glad that such fine people had come to woo his daughter, and that they did not ask for a dowry. Alyosha wept, but to no avail. "We will drive you out of our home if you refuse to be married," said the priest and his wife. They gave her in marriage to the robber groom, and celebrated the wedding. It was a most luxurious feast.
We are robber groom.
The robber grooms. The North Texas robber grooms.
Robber groom.
That's a good mascot.
Yeah.
The robbers set out for their house with Alyosha, and as soon as they entered the forest, they said, "Well, shall we put her to death right here?" But the little fool said,
Let her live for at least a day, so that I may look at her.
"Why do you want to look at her, you fool?"
Please, brothers.
The robbers consented, drove on, and took Alyosha to their house. They drank and drank, reveled and reveled, and then said, "Well, now it is time to put her to death." But the fool said,
Let her spend at least one night. Let me spend at least one night with her.
"No, fool. She might run away."
Please, brothers.
She is so hot.
The robbers yielded to his entreaty and left them in a separate room. Alyosha said to her husband,
Let me out into the yard. I want to get a breath of fresh air.
But
what if my companions hear you? I'll be quiet. Let me out by the window. I won't be glad to let you, but suppose you run away. Then tie me. I have a good piece of linen that my mother gave me. Tie the linen around me and drop me down. And when you pull, I will climb back into the window.
the fool tied her with the linen. When he dropped her, she quickly untied herself and tied a she-goat to the linen in place of herself. After a while, she said, "Pull me back," and she ran away. The fool pulled, and the goat said, "Ma-ka-ka." Each time he pulled, The goat said, "Meh, caca." "Why do you bleat?"
Love it. Loving noises.
"Why do you bleat?" said the bridegroom. And it says "Macaca," which is a
yeah.
good goat.
You're doing a good.
That's a good goat.
I
Just,
love noises and voices. I'm all for it. I can't do it. You killed it.
Macaca. My friends will hear you and destroy you at once. When he pulled in the linen, he was surprised to see a goat attached to it. The fool was frightened and did not know what to do. "Ah, the accursed woman! She has deceived me," he said. Next morning, the robbers came into the room. "Where is your bride?" they asked him. "She ran away." "Ah, you fool, you fool! We told you so in the first place." They mounted their horses and galloped after Alyosha. They rode with hounds and cracked their whips and whistled. It was dreadful to hear them. Alyosha heard her pursuers and climbed into the hollow trunk of a dry oak. She sat there half dead and half alive, while the hounds circled and circled around the oak. "Isn't she there?" one robber said to another. "Thrust your knife in." He thrust his knife into the tree hole and struck Alyosha's knee.
No.
But she was a clever girl. She seized her handkerchief and wiped off the knife.
Nice.
The robber looked at the knife and said, "No, there is nothing there." Again, they galloped in various directions, whistling and cracking their whips. When everything grew quiet, Alyosha climbed out of the tree trunk and ran. She ran and heard her pursuers once more. On the road, she saw a peasant driving with troughs and a wooden tray on his cart. "Little uncle, hide me under a trough," she besought him. But you're so well dressed, you'll get all dirty." "Please, hide me, robbers are pursuing me." The peasant untied his troughs and put her under the lowest and tied them together again. We all know how troughs are transported. We've all seen that.
Yeah,
you
course tie them. You tie them.
You
all.
tie them, and you would hide under the bottom.
Put them under
the bottom one.
Sure.
He had hardly finished when the robbers arrived. "Peasant, have you not seen such and such a woman?"
I have not, my friends.
"You lie! Throw down your troughs!" He began.
How did they know so fast?
Yeah, they're like, "Okay, you have a thing full of barrels. I bet she's in the barrels." He began to throw down the troughs, and now only one was left, the last. "It's no use to look for her here, brothers. Let us ride on farther," said the robbers, and galloped away, yelling, whistling, and cracking their whips. When everything grew quiet, Alyosha said, "Little uncle, let me out." The peasant let her out, and she ran on again. She ran, and again heard her pursuers. On the road, she beheld a peasant driving a cart loaded with skins. "Little uncle," she implored him, "hide me under your skins. Robbers are pursuing me."
But you're so well dressed.
"Under the skins, you'll get all dirty." "Never mind. Hide me. Hide only me. Only hide me."
Hide only me.
Hide only me.
It's just me.
The peasant untied his skins and put her under the lowest and tied them up as before. He had hardly finished when the robbers arrived. "Peasant, have you not seen such and such a woman?" "I have not, my friend."
I have not, my friends.
"You lie! Throw down your skins!"
Why, my friends, should I throw down my possessions?
The robbers fell to throwing down the skins themselves and threw down almost all of them. Only 2 or 3 were left. "It's no use looking for her here, brothers. Let us ride on farther," they said, and galloped away, yelling, whistling, and cracking their whips. When all this tumult and thunder had died away, she said, "Little uncle, let me go." The peasant let her go, and she ran again. She ran and ran, came home at midnight, lay in a haystack, buried herself in it completely, and fell asleep. At daybreak, the priest went to give hay to the cows, and the moment he thrust his fork into the stack, Alyosha seized it with her hands. The priest shook it with fright, crossed himself, and said, "Good heavens! Lord, have pity on us!" Then he asked, "Who is there?" Alyosha recognized her father and crawled out of the hay. How did you get in there?
In such and such a manner. You married me among robbers. They wanted to kill me, but I ran away.
And she told him all her adventures. After a while, the robbers came to the priest who had hidden Alyanushka. He asked, is my daughter safe and sound? Thank God she stayed at home to look after the house, said the robbers. And they seated themselves as though they were guests. Meanwhile, the priest had gathered troops. He led out his daughter and said, who is this? The robbers were seized, tied, and thrown into prison.
Nice. That's the end of the story?
That's the end. Yeah.
That's a good resolution.
Yeah. Wait, so he gathered troops, though. That was key. Right
priest
at the end,
gathered
the
troops.
priest gathered some troops.
The priest's army.
Army
went and got him.
He got some cops.
He brought cops to the house.
Yeah.
He's here to meet a 13-year-old girl. He married a 13-year-old girl.
So that was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
The robbers, they were so close, like 3 times, to getting her.
But Alyanushka is too slick.
Yeah,
too
she's
smart.
real smart. Sometimes
smart.
I think women are too smart. But yeah, when she wiped off the knife,
Yeah.
that's
How did you
genius
get
shit.
stabbed in the knee and then wipe it on its way out? It's like, I was just trying to think of the logistics of that,
I
but
think it's just kind of stuck in there for a little bit.
dude, women are so good. They're great. They're good.
Yeah.
They're good at stuff. They have a higher pain tolerance than us. Did you know that?
Yeah.
The Thief. Oh, aptly named.
We were at the robbers. Now we got the thief.
Yeah, this is good. We were watching Thief before we...
Yeah, we were watching Michael Mann's.
This is
Thief.
crazy. It's crazy how things line up like that. The Thief. Once there lived an old man and his wife, and they had a son called Ivan. They fed him until he grew up to be a big boy, and then said, "Well, little son, we have fed you up until now. Henceforth feed us until the end of our days." Ivan answered them, "Since you fed me until I grew big, now feed me till I get a mustache." They fed him till he had a mustache, and said, "Well, little son, we fed you till you had a mustache. Now feed us till the end of our days." "Hey, father and mother," the son answered, "since you fed me till I have a mustache, feed me now till I have a beard." There was nothing to be done. The old parents fed him and until he had a beard,
No.
and then said, "Well, little son, we fed you till you had a beard. Now feed us, oh God, till the end of our days." "Since you fed me till I had a beard, feed me now till the end of my days," said the son. The old man could not bear it any longer
Shit.
and went to the Baron.
himself.
He went to the Baron to complain about his son.
I'm
It's
gonna
like-
go talk to the mayor about this.
I'm going to the Baron. Fuck this.
I'm gonna go.
My son won't move out. Can you arrest him? The Lord summoned Ivan and said, "You idler, why don't you support your father and mother?" "How can I support them?" They sound the same. "How can I support them? I'm Ivan." "I am Ivan now," answered Ivan. "How can I support them? Or do you give me leave to steal? I have never learned to work, and it is too late for me to learn."
Nice.
"Do as you please," said the Baron. "Steal if you must. But support your parents and let there be no more complaints against you."
This would be a good movie.
At that moment, a servant came in announcing that the Baron's bath was ready.
What if Matthew McConaughey from Failure to Launch had to do a heist?
Oh my god. I don't even know if that's what he's asking him to do. So the Baron's bath is
He's just
ready,
saying you can.
and the Baron went to steam himself.
It's not illegal for you to steal.
You can't steal. Or you can't get a raise.
Yeah.
So is that what he was saying?
Essentially, I think, yeah.
All right.
He's saying go for it.
Well,
yeah.
he went to go. Okay, so he's going to take a bath now.
Yeah.
It was getting dark. The Baron washed himself, returned, and said, "Hey, is someone there? Give me my slippers." Ivan, who was still there, handed him the slippers, took the Baron's boots, and went home with them.
Nice.
"Here, father," he said, "take off your shoes of linden bark. Put on the Baron's boots instead."
Dang.
Next morning, the Baron discovered that his boots were gone. He sent for Ivan and asked him, "Did you carry off my boots?" "I don't know anything, but it's my work." I don't know anything, but it's my work." "Ah, you scoundrel, you cheat. How dare you steal?" "But didn't you tell me yourself that I must support my mother and my father, even if I have to steal?" "I would not disobey your orders, master." "In that case," said the Baron, "listen to this order. Steal my black ox from the plow. If you do steal him, I'll give you 100 rubles. 100 rubles. If you do not, I'll give you 100 lashes with the whip." "At your orders, Baron," said Ivan.
The thief.
Baron. Yeah, dude. He's the thief. He went straight away to the village, stole a cock somewhere, plucked his feathers, and hastened to the field. He sneaked up to the edge of the furrow, lifted a clump of earth, put the cock under it, and hid behind the bushes. Can't hide beneath bushes. When the plowmen became to trace a new furrow, they caught that clump of earth and shoved it to one side. The plucked cock jumped out and rushed along the mountains and ruts. "Look at the strange beast that we dug out of the earth," cried the plowman, and ran after the cock. When Ivan saw that they were running like scalded creatures, he went to the plow, cut off the tail of one ox, stuck it into the mouth of the second, unharnessed the third ox, and led him home. The plowman chased the cock for a long time, but failed to catch him and went back. They discovered that the black ox... 2 pages stuck together. The black ox had gone, and that the speckled one had lost its tail. "Well, brothers," one of them said, "while we ran after the strange animal, one ox ate the black one whole and bit off the tail of the speckled one." That's what anyone would think.
That's pretty much logic, yeah.
They went to the Baron to confess their dereliction. "Forgive us, little father. One ox ate another." "Ah, you brainless fools," the Baron shouted at them. "Whoever saw an ox eating another ox? Summon Ivan." When Ivan came, he asked, "Did you steal the ox?" "I did, Baron." "What have you done with him?" "I have slaughtered him, sold the hide at the bazaar, and with the flesh I will feed my parents." "You're a clever fellow," said the Baron. "Here is 100 rubles for you. But now steal my favorite stallion, which stands behind 3 doors and 6 locks. If you lead him away, I'll pay you 200 rubles. If you do not, I'll give you 200 lashes with the whip."
Dang.
"Very well, Baron, I'll steal him." Late at night, Ivan got into the Baron's house. There was not a living soul in the entrance hall. He noticed the Baron's clothes hanging on the peg,
Nice.
took the overcoat and cap, put them on himself, went out on the porch,
Ivan's
and
tricky.
cried to the stable boys in a loud voice, "Hey, boys, saddle my favorite stallion at once and lead him up here." The stable boys took him for the Baron, ran to the stable, unlocked the 6 locks, opened the 3 doors, and in a trice the stallion was saddled and brought up to the porch.
A trice?
A trice.
Of course.
I don't know.
I've never heard of a trice.
In a trice, I guess it's a short amount of time.
Yeah, a couple seconds.
A couple seconds is a trice. 3 seconds.
Trice.
The thief mounted him, lashed him with a riding crop, and was gone. The next day the Baron asked, "Well, how was my favorite stallion?" And he learned that the horse had been stolen the night before. He had asked again to send for Ivan. Did you steal the stallion? The Baron asked. I did, Baron. Where is he? I've sold him to horse dealers. You're lucky that I myself ordered you to steal him. Take your 200 rubles. But now steal the teacher of the dissenting church. Whoa, shit. And what, Baron, do you offer me for that job? Will 300 rubles be enough? Yes, I'll steal him for that sum.
So he's like an assassin now.
And if you fail, then Baron, do with me what you please. Whoa.
Dang.
The Baron summoned the teacher.
Then we will kiss.
You can do with me whatever you want. Free use type situation. If you know what I mean, Baron. Baron. The Baron summoned the teacher and said to him, Be on your guard. Pray all night. Do not dare to sleep. Ivan the thief has boasted that he will kidnap you. The saintly old man took fright. He did not feel like sleeping at all. He sat in his cell and chanted prayers. On the stroke of midnight,
Ivan to be God.
Yeah, dude. He what?
I guess he gonna pretend to be God.
Okay.
I think Ivan gonna pretend to be God.
He might.
Or an angel.
On the stroke of midnight, Ivan, the thief, carrying a burlap sack, knocked at the window. Who are you, man? The teacher asked. I am an angel from heaven, sent to bring you to paradise alive. Crawl into this sack.
Yeah.
The teacher foolishly crawled into the sack. The thief tied him up, slung him over his shoulders, and carried him to the church steeple.
You can't fall for that.
He dragged and dragged him. Is it still far? Asked the teacher. Wait and see, said the Ivan. In the beginning, the road is long but smooth. In the end, it is short but bumpy.
What?
Hell yeah. Ivan dragged the sack and let it roll down the stairs. The teacher was badly bumped. He counted every step. Oh, he said.
I didn't throw the bag down the stairs. I let the bag roll down the stairs.
Let it roll. I just let it roll.
Okay.
I didn't throw shit. Oh, he said. The angel spoke the truth. The first part of the way is long but smooth, and the last part is short but bumpy. I didn't suffer that much even on earth. Be patient, you will be saved, answered Ivan. He lifted the sack, hung it on the fence near the gate, put 2 birch twigs as thick as a finger nearby, and wrote on the gate, Whoever goes by and fails to strike this bag 3 times, let him be cursed and anathematized. Shit, you cannot be anathematized.
Yeah, I'd hate that.
That would suck. It would piss me off. Thus, everyone who went by struck the bag 3 times. The Baron passed near the church gate and asked, What is in that sack? And he ordered it to be taken down and untied. The teacher of the dissenting church crawled out of it. How did you get here? Asked the Baron. I told you to be on your guard. I am not sorry that you have been beaten with rods, but I am sorry that because of you I will lose 300 rubles.
Shit.
Wow. What a weird, pointless...
I'm glad the Baron's a man of his word, though.
So the Baron just kept testing Ivan. That was it. The ending was that he just tested him 3 times.
Don't test him.
Don't test him. You're just going to make more and more money. You keep getting tested by the Baron.
Right, but it's because he's such a good... He's just chilling. He doesn't really like having jobs and stuff.
That was a good one.
The Thief, man.
That was nice.
That one's good. I think we should head up to Cameron.
You want to end on the Decameron?
Yeah.
Okay.
Been wanting to get into the Decameron.
What is the Decameron? This seems dense. This looks... The cover of this book has a picture of a page with the smallest font imaginable.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'll read the back, I guess, for the newbies. In the early summer of the year 1348, as a terrible plague ravages the city, 10 charming young Florentines take refuge in country villas to tell each other stories. 100 stories of love, adventure, and surprising twists of fortune. which later inspired Chaucer, Keats, and Shakespeare. While Dante is a stern moralist, Boccaccio has little time for chastity, pokes fun at crafty, hypocritical clerics, and celebrates the power of passion to overcome obstacles and social divisions. There's more on the back, but there's a big sticker.
Let's run it.
There's a big-ass sticker. Yeah, and I Googled one about a thief. I typed in Decameron story about thief.
These are stories from an adult sleepover 500 years ago. 700 years ago. A bunch of guys all had a sleepover.
No, there's girls, man.
A bunch of adults had a slumber
girls.
party, co-ed slumber party. In
This is,
700 years ago.
For those keeping track at home, we're doing the sixth story of the 8th day. 10 stories, 10 days. 10 days, 10 stories.
10 stories, 10 days. This sounds like a writing challenge for a community college.
So this is there's like this weird intro every time that's like about who's gonna talk or whatever. But so it's like they're all hanging out and they're like, you should tell a story.
Oh man.
And like that's like the beginning, and then the guy so I'll read it. And
I guess, yeah.
Okay,
the
so
exposition.
Philostrato had no sooner completed his story, which aroused a great deal of laughter, than the queen called on Philomena to follow, whereupon she began saying, Gracious ladies, just as Philostrato was prompted to tell you the previous tale by hearing the name of Maso, in precisely the same way, I too have been prompted by hearing the names of Calandrino and his companions to tell you another, which I believe you will find to your liking.
So this is Calandrino's story?
It is unnecessary for me to explain to you who Calandrino, Bruno, and Buffalamaco are. For you have heard enough on that score in the earlier tale. So yeah, they're in one of the earlier tales. I don't know. One of the guys' names is Buffalamaco. Buffalamaco? Buffalmacco. So I shall admit the preliminaries and tell you that Calandrino had a little farm not far from Florence, which he had received from his wife by way of a dowry. Among the other things he acquired from this farm every year he used to obtain a pig there, and it was his regular custom to go to the country in December with his wife, slaughter the pig, and have it salted. Now, it so happened that one year when Calandrino's wife was not feeling very well, he went to the farm by himself to slaughter the pig. And when Bruno and Buffalmacco heard about this, knowing that his wife was remaining behind, they went to stay for a few days with a priest, who was a very great friend of theirs and lived near Calandrino's farm. Calandrino had slaughtered the pig on the morning of the very day they arrived, and on seeing them with the priest, he called out to them, saying, I bid you a hearty welcome, my friends. Come along inside, and I'll show you what an excellent farmer I am. And having taken them into the farmhouse, he showed them the pig. It was a very fine pig, as they could see for themselves. And when they learned from Calandrino that he intended to salt it and take it back to his family, Bruno said, You must be out of your mind. Why not sell it so that we can all have a good time on the proceeds? You can always tell your wife it's been stolen. Not a chance, said Calandrino. She wouldn't believe me, and she'd kick me out of the house. Now stop pestering me, because I shall never do anything of the sort. They argued with him at great length, but it was no use. And after so they're kind of bad influence.
So who's telling the story? I thought
Some lady.
I thought Calandrino.
No, it's Philomena. The queen called on Philomena to follow, whereupon she began saying,
Okay. Philomena, and she's telling a story about her friends, Calandrino, and okay.
Someone mentioned Calandrino in the one before, and so she's like, all right,
we're doing Calandrino stories.
Or it's like someone was like, oh, you told that story about
Is that a
Maso?
guy, though? I'm
No.
sorry.
I mean, he's a guy in one of the earlier ones.
Okay, he's not one of the people telling the story.
No.
Okay.
He's someone they all know or something. Or
Nice. All right.
maybe just if you're, I don't know. But yeah, it seems like he's kind of a straight arrow, and Bruno and Buffalmacco are kind of bad guys, or sort of bad influences.
We don't need to explain who they are.
Right. They explained it in another one, yeah. But we're kind of getting their dynamic.
I'm vibing now.
Okay.
I get what's I thought you were still reading the exposition
No,
passage.
it started. They're Buffalo.
Of
Yeah,
the
Calandrino's
story.
the main guy.
Hell yeah.
So they argued with him at great length, but it was no use. And after Calandrino had invited them to stay for supper with so reluctant an air that they decided not to accept, they all took their leave of him. Be like, yeah, I guess you guys can stay for supper.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we're leaving.
I made a lot of food. There's a cat trying to ruin the show.
Okay.
We'll play with you in a moment.
They argued, but then they all took their leave of him. After leaving Calandrino, Bruno... What the hell?
She's swatting at you?
She attacked my shirt.
Hey, Nova,
Nova.
come here.
Okay.
All right, we figured that
We
out.
got her.
Sorted.
Why don't we go steal that pig of his tonight? But how are we to do that, said Buffalmacco. I've already thought of a good way to do it, said Bruno, provided that he doesn't move it to some other place. In that case, said Buffalmacco, let's do it. After all, why not? And when the deed is done, you and I and our friend the priest here will all make merry together. The priest was very much in favor of this idea and said to Bruno, and so Bruno said, this thing calls for a certain amount of finesse. Now you know Buffalmacco, don't you? That Calandrino is a mean sort of fellow who's very fond of drinking when other people pay. So let's go and take him to the tavern where the priest can pretend to play the host to the rest of us and pay for all the drinks. When he sees that he has nothing to pay, Calandrino will drink himself into a stupor, and then the rest will be plain sailing because there's no one else staying at the house. Everything turned out as Bruno had predicted. When Calandrino saw that the priest would not allow him to pay, he began to drink like a fish, and quaffed a great deal more than he needed to make him drunk. By the time he left the tavern, it was already very late, and not wishing to eat any supper, he staggered off home and went to bed, thinking he had bolted the door, whereas, in fact, he had left it wide open. Buffalmacco and Bruno went and had supper with the priest, and when the meal was over, they stealthily made their way to Calandrino's house. So they ate dinner like at 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, very Italian.
Eating and robbing.
Yeah.
Robbing.
Being like, we're going to go to the bar, get drunk. That guy's already eaten supper. He already invited us to supper. We said no. Mm-hmm. But maybe it's the next night. I don't know. So, yeah. Buffalmacco, they went and had supper with the priest, and when the meal was over, they stealthily made their way to Calandrino's house, taking with them certain implements so that they could break in at the spot that Bruno decided on earlier in the day. On finding the door open, however, they walked in and collected the pig and carted it off to the priest's house, where they stowed it away and went off to bed. Next morning, having slept off the effects of the wine, Calandrino got up and went downstairs to find that his pig had gone and the door was open. So he went round asking various people whether they knew who had taken the pig. And being unable to find any trace of it, he began to make a great outcry, shouting, "Alas, woe is me! Someone's stolen my pig." Meanwhile, Bruno and Buffalmacco got up and went round to Calandrino's to hear what he had to say about the pig. And no sooner did he catch sight of them than he called out to them, almost in tears, saying, "Alas, my friends, somebody's stolen my pig." Bruno went up to him and said, and speaking out of the corner of his mouth, he said, "Fancy that. So, you've had a bit of sense at last, have you?" "Pah!" exclaimed Calandrino. "I'm telling you the gospel truth." "That's the way. Go on shouting like that so that people will think it really happened." Whereupon Calandrino began to shout even louder, saying, "God's body, man! I tell you, it's been stolen. It really has." "Excellent, excellent," said Bruno.
my God.
"Keep it up. Give the thing plenty of voice and make yourself heard so as to sound convincing." You'll drive me to perdition in a minute," said Calandrino. "Do I have to hang myself by the neck before I convince you that it has really been stolen?"
He'll drive me to perdition
"Get
in a
away
minute.
with you," said Bruno. "How can that be when I saw it there only myself yesterday?" "Are you trying to make me believe it's flown away?" "It's gone, I tell you." "Go on," said Bruno. "You're joking." I swear to you, I'm telling the truth, said Calandrino. What am I to do now? I can't go back home without the pig. My wife will never believe me, but if she does, she'll make my life a misery for the next 12 months. Upon my soul, said Bruno, it's a serious business if you're speaking the truth. But as you know, Calandrino, I was telling you only yesterday that you ought to say this. I wouldn't like to think that you were fooling your wife and us too at the same time. Calandrino protested loudly, saying, Ah! Why are you so intent on driving me to despair and provoking me to curse God and all the saints in heaven? I tell you, the pig was stolen from me during the night. So now they're like, bro, wait, we just told you that you should steal the pig. You totally are fake stealing the pig, even though they have the pig.
It's just an insane gaslighting.
Quite a
story.
farce, yeah.
I know. Everybody's gaslighting everybody. We had a plan to fake lose the pig, but now he's actually lost the pig.
Right.
And
But he never wanted to even fake lose the pig.
Oh my god.
He was like, I'm a good boy, and my wife would be mad at me. If that's the case, said Buffalmaco, maybe it's macho. I don't know. We'll have to see. Buffalamacho. We'll have to see if we can find some other way of getting it back. How are we to do that? Asked Calandrino. So Buffalmaco said, whoever took your pig, we can be quite sure that he didn't come all the way from India to do it.
Nice.
It must have been one of your neighbors.
It's definitely not an Indian guy.
So, all you have to do is bring them all together so that I can give them the bread and cheese test.
Ooh.
And we'll soon see who's got it.
I'll take that test
And it says there's a footnote. I don't know where the footnote info, dude.
If it tells us what the bread and cheese test is,
All right, I'm on the notes.
It's worth breaking. I don't know.
I'm on the notes.
Usually footnotes are stupid.
7th day, 8th day.
We stand firmly against footnotes here.
7th day, 8th, 10th. We need the 8th day, 6th.
You can just put it in the book. You don't need to put extra book in.
I like putting the book at the bottom.
Oh, there's more book.
I like when the footnote's at the foot, not
that.
at the end.
Thank you.
Okay, the bread and cheese test. A rudimentary form of lie detector popular in the Middle Ages, in which people suspected of uttering an untruth were invited to consume a bread and cheese confection whilst a magic formula was being recited. Their inability to swallow it was taken as a sign that they were lying.
Oh my god.
So I'll keep this bookmark there because there's two other things.
The footnotes sound...
Wait, should I just... Okay, here's the other two. Here's the second footnote that we might come into play later. Let me know if you already know this. Dog ginger. Dog ginger is
I want to see if it's the same dog ginger that I know. Go ahead.
Water pepper. It's a water pepper. A marsh weed having an acrid juice. Boccaccio wrote... Quelle de cane, those of the dog, which until recently was misinterpreted by most of the English translator as dog stools or dog turds. You might have... So a lot of English people before this really smart guy who's translating this one...
So there's a pepper that was called a dog turd?
Those of the dog. It's just like... In Italian, the thing means those of the dog. So it's the dog's possessions, which...
Oh, it's like it's low. It's bad.
I don't know.
It's dog stuff.
They got some dog stuff is probably the good.
Dog
and you're
shit.
like, oh, dog stuff. That might be shit. But no, there's some weird water pepper called dog stuff.
Dog shit.
Essentially. It's called dog ginger.
Okay.
But, you know.
Dog ginger.
Ginger kind of looks like a little poop.
It does look like a little poop.
And then says, the time you took us along
That's why I like it.
Mognone.
Mongnon?
That's the other story. So the other story is some other one. I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
No, we won't.
Okay. How are we to do that? Whoever took your pig, the bread and cheese test.
Yeah.
And we'll soon see who's got it. Oh, yes, said Bruno. Your bread and cheese will work miracles, I'm sure. On some of the fine folk who live around here, it's quite obvious that one of them has the pig. They'd guess what we were up to and stay away. What's to be done then? Asked Buffalmaco. What we ought to do, said Bruno replied, is to use the best ginger sweets we can get a hold of, along with some very fine Vernaccia wine, and invite them round for a drink. They wouldn't suspect anything, and they'll all turn up. And it's just as easy to bless ginger sweets as it is to bless bread and cheese. So we can do the ginger sweets with the bread and cheese
Got it.
test.
With the dog shit ginger.
No, that hasn't come up yet.
Okay.
That has not come up yet. That's on this page. I'm still on this page.
Okay, I'm just seeing into the future a little bit.
You certainly have a point there, said Buffalmacco. What do you say, Calandrino? Shall we give it a try? Of course, said Calandrino. Let's do that. For the love of God, if only I could find out who took it. I shouldn't feel half so miserable about it. That's settled then, said Bruno. Now I'd be quite willing to go to Florence and get these things for you if you'll give me the money. Calandrino gave him all the money he had, which amounted to about 40 pence. And so Bruno went to Florence, called on a friend of his who was an apothecary. Having bought a pound of the best ginger sweets he had in stock, he got him to make 2 special ones.
Oh.
Consisting of dog ginger, seasoned with fresh hepatic aloes. Oh. Then he had these coated with sugar like the rest, so as not to lose them or confuse them with the others.
Or peruse them.
Or excuse them. He had a tiny mark on them, which enabled him to recognize them without any difficulty. And having bought a flask of fine Vernaccia, he returned to Calandrino's place in the country and said to him, "See to it that you invite all the people you suspect to come and drink with you tomorrow morning. It's a holiday, so they'll all come readily enough. Tonight, along with Buffalmacco, I shall cast a spell on the sweets and bring them round to your house first thing tomorrow morning. I shall hand the sweets out myself to save you the trouble, and I shall pronounce all the right words and do all the right things."
I am always promising.
I can do all
before we go to some, like a work party, I tell my wife, I'm gonna say all the right words. And do all the right things.
You do say that.
I'm gonna say all the right words.
Calandrino issued the invitations the next morning. A goodly crowd of people assembled round the elm in front of the church, of whom some were farm workers and others were young Florentines who happened to be staying in the country. Then along came Bruno and Buffalmacco with the box of sweets and the flask of wine. And having got them to stand in a circle, Bruno made them the following announcement. "Gentlemen, I must explain to you why you are here, so that if you should take offense at anything that happens, you won't go and blame it on me. The night before last, Calandrino, who is here among us, was robbed of a fine, fat pig, and he can't find out who has taken it. And since it could only have been taken by one of the people here, he wants to discover who it was by offering to each of you in turn one of these sweets to eat, together with a drink of his wine. I should explain to you right away that whoever has taken the pig will be unable to swallow the sweet. In fact, he will find it more bitter than poison and spit it out. So before he is put to so much shame in the presence of all these people, perhaps it would be it would be better for the person responsible to make a clean breast of it to the priest, and I can call the whole thing off." All of them were too
You take all this candy away.
I've cursed the candy so only evil people won't like it. So if you are evil, please tell us and we won't make you eat it.
It's gonna be gross.
It will be so gross.
It's gonna be really gross. Come forth, all evil ones.
All of them were too eager to eat one of the sweets, and so Bruno, having lined them up with Calandrino in the middle, started from one end and began to hand one out to each of them in turn. When he came to Calandrino, he picked up one of the sweets of the canine variety and placed it in the palm of his hand. Calandrino promptly... Yeah, they kind of do have dog shit in them, I think.
I think there's dog shit in there.
That way it makes more sense.
Yeah.
But, this guy...
It's like white dog poop. That kind of looks like ginger, in a way.
You're doting G.H. McWilliam?
If you're Italian. If you're G.H. McWilliams, Italian, loving ass.
Yeah, man. He knows all about
It's
them.
of the canine variety.
Right.
There's dog shit.
It's got the dog pepper in it.
dog peppers.
It's got that dog ginger in
I
it.
think it's dog because it said it means leavings of the dog or something.
Those of the dog.
Dog poop.
Right, but they're saying literally that's not what it is. A lot of
Alright.
people think that.
Okay.
The note said the opposite.
This makes it sound like never.
I know. I was saying the same thing.
Figure it out.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
gonna
saying
figure
this-
it out.
We already figured it out. It's the pepper.
It's a gross pepper.
It's a gross pepper.
Okay.
When he came to he picked up the canine variety and placed it on the palm of his hand. Calandrino promptly tossed it into his mouth and began to chew on it. But no sooner did his tongue come into contact with the aloe than, finding the bitter taste quite intolerable, he spat it out again. They were all keeping a close watch on one another to see who was going to spit out his sweet, and Bruno, who still had several more to distribute, carried on as though nothing had happened until he had heard a voice behind him saying, "Hey, Calandrino, what's the meaning of this?" Turning quickly round and seeing that Calandrino had spat his out, he said, "Wait a minute. Perhaps he spat it out for some other reason. Here, take another." And picking up the second one, he thrust it into Calandrino's mouth.
Shit.
Before proceeding to hand out the ones he had left. Bitter as Calandrino had found the first, the second seemed a great deal more so. But, being ashamed to spit it out, he kept it in his mouth for a while. He's doing the cinnamon challenge. As he chewed away at it, tears as big as hazelnuts began to roll down his cheeks until eventually, being unable to hear it any longer, he spat it out like the first. Buffalmacco was meanwhile handing out drinks all around with the assistance of Bruno.
Chilling.
And when, along with all the others, they observed what had happened, everyone declared that Calandrino had obviously stolen the pig himself. And there were one or two who gave him a severe scolding about it. However, when the crowd had dispersed, leaving Bruno and Buffalmacco alone with Calandrino, Buffalmacco turned to him and said, "I was convinced all along that you were the one who had taken it. You were just pretending to us that it had been stolen so that you wouldn't have to buy us a few drinks out of the proceeds." Calandrino, who still had
So
the
mean.
bitter taste of the
So
aloe in his
fucking mean,
mouth,
dude.
swore to them that he had not taken the pig.
So nasty.
But Buffalmacco said, "Own up, man. How much did it fetch? 6 florins?" Calandrino was by now on the brink of despair, but Bruno said, "You might as well know, Calandrino, that one of the fellows we were drinking and eating with this morning told me that you had a girl up here, and that you kept her for your pleasure, and gave her all the little tidbits that came your way, and that he was quite certain that you had sent her this pig of yours. You've become quite an expert at fooling people, haven't you? Remember the time you took us along the Mongnon?
Yes. The
There-
Mongnon.
There we were, collecting those black stones, and as soon as you'd gotten us stranded up the creek without a paddle, you cleared off home. And then tried to make
Mongnon,
us
dude.
believe that you'd found the thing. And now you've given away the pig, or sold it rather. You think you can persuade us by uttering a few oaths that it's been stolen, but you can't fool us anymore. We've cottoned on to those tricks.
We've cottoned on to that.
I've never heard that. As a matter of fact, that's why we took so much trouble with the spell we cast on the sweets. And unless you give us 2 brace of capons for our pains, we intend to tell Monatessa the whole story." Seeing that they refused to believe him, and thinking that he had enough trouble on his hands without letting himself in for a diatribe from his wife, Calandrino gave them the 2 brace of capons, and after they had salted the pig, they carried their spoils back to Florence with them, leaving Calandrino to scratch his head and rue his losses.
Whoa.
So it sounds like Calandrino had it coming
Calandrino definitely had it coming.
because of that thing he did with the stones.
All right, you keep going. I have to pee.
It's over. That's over.
Oh, that was so good.
It's over.
Okay. Thank you for listening. That was the Calandrino pig stealing story. What was it
Yeah.
called?
They don't have titles.
Okay. Well, it was great. We all enjoyed it.
Any
Do you
final
think-
thoughts? Any final thoughts?
Final
on
thoughts?
on the Calandrino, or just gaslight gatekeep girl boss?
That was an insane level of gaslighting, but I kind of like the espionage of it. the secret candies, and then that was kind of just like a mentalist trick.
Yeah, it's
The
kind of
whole
like
thing
what
was,
he would do
just
on The Mentalist.
kind of doing a mentalism
Yeah.
thing with the second candy.
Yeah,
really
second candy rule.
driving it home. Anyway, read more books by
Tune in.